Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another video. So StarWars.com have posted the official episode guides for episode 6, Infiltration, and episode 7, Extraction. And as you might expect, we have a few new details which are rather interesting, so we're going to break them down. Before we do that though my dear friends, if you've not done so already, please be sure to hit that big red subscribe button down below, and hit the bell to be alerted every time that I post a new video. But no more jibber jabber, let's dive straight in. So the one character who's been the subject of many fan theories, the talk of the town, is the mysterious shadow operative clone assassin who now has the name CX2. Now I've discussed the various theories in depth, how the second clone assassin, CX2, could be Commander Cody, maybe Tech, as some fans have theorized, or even a clone of Crosshair based on the sharpshooting skills. Go and check out my previous video for more information on this. But now the episode guides have revealed a little bit more. They say this: the mysterious Clone X Trooper first appeared in Season 2's episode, The Clone Conspiracy. But this episode reveals there are many more. These clones seemingly have no individual names or designations, listed simply as Clone X Troopers in the credits. In the script, they're identified as CX1, and the one that we're most interested in, CX2. And some fans think due to the clone designation of Tech, this could be him transformed, if he survived Season 2. His clone designation was CT-9902, similar to CX2. Viewers also noticed similar fighting moves between the two characters. For instance, the way in which Tech pushes and kicks battle droids in Season 1 is similar to a move CX2 performs when fighting Crosshair in Episode 7. I suppose the main problem with the Tech theory is that Crosshair told us because of his defective genetics, they weren't able to program him into an assassin. So you'd assume this applies to the other members of Clone Force 99, but I'm still convinced the two most likely theories are either Cody or a Crosshair clone. In addition to some of the theories, I honestly believe that there is a hint this is a Crosshair clone. Episode 10 is titled Identity Crisis. It's pretty riveting speculating about some of these things, but at the same time, it's kind of reminiscent of the Marok speculation for Ahsoka Season 1. We think there's more to the character, and there isn't. So we do have to be very cautious, and not jump to any assumptions. I would love for this character to be someone we know, but we've also got to prepare for the possibility that their role was just the next phase of the operative program. They might be the catalyst to the next predicament the batch finds itself in. For example, because CX1 and CX2 failed to capture the girl, that could be what triggers the Empire to hire more assassins and bounty hunters, ones who didn't originate as clones, imprisoned and programmed on Tantiss. But we've not seen the last of CX2, because he survived. He will return. The next tidbit I want to talk about is the presence of Gregor, who, as we know along with Wolf and Rex, has to survive the events of Season 3. They say while former Clone Commander Gregor is not at the monastery base, his presence is still felt when Fireball brings in a dish and claims it to be, quote, Gregor's recipe, and it kind of adds to his personality that was really explored in Star Wars Rebels, being kind-hearted, down-to-earth, and rather quirky, one of the more fun ones as well. I love this moment, as a fan of Star Wars Rebels, as someone who thought his death in Rebels is going to be tragic further down the line. I love seeing more of him, in a time period where he was still younger, even though the galaxy is a very dangerous place. We often focus on the more serious moments in this show, but there are some scenes like Gregor cracking a joke, Omega giving Batcher her food, that just make the show feel more complete. Another fun fact, did you hear the Wilhelm scream? Something that's become iconic to all of Star Wars. When two troopers are falling out of the crashing shuttle, you hear the iconic soundbite. And here's my most favourite factoid from this episode guide. I already broke down how Omega is acting a lot like Crosshair, but did you know the cheeky conversation between the two of them, when Crosshair is being rather fatherly, was pretty much a last-minute addition to the episode? The one where she says, "You're as bad as Hunter," and Crosshair replies, "Oh, I'm much worse." This wasn't originally planned, but it's a much-needed and wholesome interaction. Crosshair softened. He cares about the well-being of his sister, which kind of took Hauser aback. It was one of the moments he realised, this isn't the same guy who was loyal to the Empire on Ryloth. This guy's changed. So those are the main takeaways from the episode guide. But now I want to share with you an interesting theory that I think is going to be quite important down the road. In the same way that foreshadowing has been a crucial aspect of the first 2 seasons, they're doing it again. And one keen-eyed viewer noticed, there was a detail in the final scene of episode 7 that could indicate Omega's return to Tantiss, not to fight the Empire, but as a prisoner. And it ties into something that cinematographer Joel Aaron teased in relation to a similar detail in the recent poster of Crosshair and Omega, so you know this is going to be very important. And I just had a gut feeling when I first saw the episode, this was going to come back to haunt us. So what am I talking about? As she's cuddled up to Batcher and asleep, there is a red light over her head. This might not sound like much, but considering the animators focus on the smallest details to foreshadow future events, this might turn out to be something very important. In the next few episodes, the Empire is going to hunt them down, even finding them on Pabu, and I don't think it would surprise anyone if even temporarily the Empire captures Omega and brings her back. That might be why the final episode is called The Cavalry Has Arrived, because they're not just trying to save their clone brothers, but also trying to rescue Omega again. It could be the dark and unfortunate way they find Tantiss, not just going there to rescue clone prisoners, but their sister who might be recaptured. What do you guys think? And I do wonder, following the Bad Batch Season 3, are we going to get a Clone Rebellion show? One that focuses on Rex and Echo, their adventures in trying to track down and save other clones. Hunter tells Rex, "You can't win this fight. The Empire is too strong." I don't feel as though the Bad Batch Season 3 has enough episodes left and enough time. I think that warrants its own series, because in the Bad Batch we still got to focus on Omega, Project Necromancer, bounty hunters, the appearance of Asajj Ventress, so I do think they should put a pin in this and explore it in a way it deserves in a second show. This is just wishful thinking, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I do think the character of Captain Rex deserves that focus. And just one final thing before I go, did you guys notice we returned to Pantora, which in a way, aside from the meeting between Ryo Chuchi and Senator Singh, is doubly important and a George Lucas Easter egg. And the showrunners did say the Bad Batch's final season is truly a conclusion of George Lucas's legacy, because he started the Clone Wars, of which this show is a spin-off, and is coming to an end. And Pantora is the home planet of the character George Lucas plays in Revenge of the Sith, Baron Papanoida. The character went on to have a speaking role in a few episodes of the Clone Wars, and I do think to some degree this was a nod to George. D. Bradley Baker spoke about George's vision very much impacting this final season and still being a focal aspect that Jennifer Corbett and Dave Filoni keep in mind, which I think is still very important. The show tracks back to the original idea that George had. But with that said, my dear friends, share your thoughts on everything we spoke about in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you, always.